Okay, in the second part of this animated text video, I'm going to show you how we can use the null layer to animate our text and to make it look even more cooler, and we'll also do a little bit of individual animation on some of the layers. Okay, so first thing is, let's just move our playhead back to when the first word comes in. Alright, there it is there. This. Now what we want to, I'm going to just make sure the null layer is selected, and I'm going to click, hold and drag this down here. I'll just move this across so that you can see everything, and I want it to be roughly in the middle. Okay, I'm going to go into the transform properties here for the null. I'm going to scale it up to make it bigger, and I'm going to use the guideline there just to sit the edge of my text against. Alright, so what I want to do is, as we animate, I want to move as each word gets animated and the next line of words comes in, or word, I want to move it slightly up, and then the next line of word animates in. So I'll show you how that looks and how we can do that. So scroll back to the very first word. So if you go into preview, it's going to go up frame by frame. Okay, so this is the very start of when this comes in. Now what we want to do is, we want to, in order for this to work properly, we want to go back 3 frames before the start of the word. So bring it to the start of that first word's layer, but make sure your null is selected, and go back 3 frames, 1, 2, 3, and let's set a position keyframe here. Anytime we hit the stopwatch, it means animation's taking place. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to scroll up to the next, when the next line of word starts, which is there. Alright, and what I'm going to do is, actually, before we do it, I'm just going to, no, I made the scale bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, hold and drag this so it moves up. You can hold shift so it stays straight, and so what's going to happen is, as that word disappears, this word's going to move up and take its place. So you can see how that works. So if I scrub through, this is my, okay, that's cool. Now let's go up to the next word. Let's do exactly the same thing, animated. Make sure it's at the very start of the layer, go back 3 spots, 1, 2, 3, ensure your null is selected. We don't want to be moving individual layers around just yet, and let's set a position keyframe by just pressing that button there. Okay, and let's go to when the next word starts, which is text, and let's click, hold and drag the position up, hold shift again, just move it up slightly to there, and let's see how that's looking. We preview that.
This is my animated text.
Excellent. Okay. We'll just pan around there. Now let's do that again for tutorial. So move your playhead to the start of the word again, go back 3 keyframes, and let's put a position keyframe in there. And what we might also do, we might also put a scale keyframe in there. So we might kind of scale it up or down as we go. So let's put scale on, and let's go to about here on our timeline, and let's drag it up, hold shift. What we can do is, we can even make it appear to grow as well, like that. Now the reason I've got this guideline at the side here is so that I can nest it back against it, just like that. Okay, so as that comes in, it's going to now start to grow like that, so that's pretty cool. Let's go back and have a look at it.
This is my animated text tutorial.
Okay, that's good. Now, what else? What the other thing we can do is we could animate the each individual text layer as well in a similar way. I'm going to close the null panel there, and I might just go into this. Let's open up the options for this layer here. Let's make sure it's selected and not the null. Let's go to transform, And let's go to find the very start of when text comes in. Go up a bit. Where's text? Oh, back there. There it is there. So it's this layer here, sorry. Let's select that layer. Okay, it comes in now. I had the wrong one open. Let's open this one up. Let's go into transform and let's turn our scale on. All right. Now, you'll notice a keyframe comes up. Now let's scale this right down. We'll scrub and scale it right down. And what we'll do is we'll go forward, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 keyframes, and let's put the scale back to where it was, which I can't quite remember, so I'm going to go do this the other way around. So I'm going to undo twice, undo again, and I'm going to set the keyframe about here before the next word appears, because it might look a bit funny, and I'm going to set the scale position, and this way I'm just going to go backwards, put it at the start there, and I'm going to scale, drop that right down so it's really small. So what happens is it grows like that. Okay, it's just a bit easier if you do it in reverse, otherwise I have to remember that exact same number. So let's have a look at how that looks.
This is my animated text tutorial.
Okay, cool. Look, if you think the white background's plain, right click in here, go to new, solid, and we can just add a solid color onto here. You can choose any kind of color that you want. I might choose like a green or something like that, light green. Click OK. Click OK, and there we go. Now, that's kind of probably going to get in the way, so what you can do on that null object, like I'm just going to move the position out of the way down the bottom there. I'm just going to lock it so that we can't click on it. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm going to drag this down a bit so we can see it a bit better.
This is my animated text tutorial.
Okay, look, it's up to you to play around with it and see what things you can come up with. One more thing I will do to an individual layer. Sorry, I might just use the first layer here, and I'm going to scroll up. Now, what you can do is move the playhead back so that we can see it. What you can do is, with this layer selected, you can go into your effects and presets, and if you go into animation presets and go to text, there's a whole heap of different things you can go into here. Let's go into animate in, and I think there's a fade up. What we can do is fade up words. If you double click it, and with the correct layer selected, it's going to apply this preset effect onto it. So you can see now that my word fades in. Now you can go into that layer. You'll notice that it's a preset effect, so it comes with its own keyframes. You can then kind of go in and you can find, if I go into Animator 1, range selector. Okay, now I can, if I want that effect to happen quicker, I can adjust the keyframes, or if I want to take longer, I can drag them out a little bit. All right, that's up to you to play around with. I might just undo that. Another thing you could do is choose another one and just see how they work. Not all will work for this. Typewriter might work good. If I double click that, the word kind of types in, but it's happening a bit slow. Okay, I might undo it. I'll go back to the very start and I might press it there. See, it's happening very slowly, but I could go into the keyframing and then make it happen quicker. All right, so it's up to you to explore with that and experiment with it. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Have fun and see what you can come up with.